Kunal Bothra is joining us on the technical front, and we have Gaurang Shah who will guide us fundamentally. So let's get started. A very good morning, gentlemen. The first query that I have is coming in from a viewer named Deepak, and he wants an advice on Tata Motors. Kunal, if you can advise Deepak, he already have 200 shares. He didn't share his buy price, but he wants to add more. At this price, do you believe that it will be a good buy even at this particular price?
Good morning. So, I think yes, you can look to buy the stock or average some quantity at current levels, but I'm not sure whether this could be the exact bottom for the stock, because what has happened is in the last 4-5 days, the fall is getting arrested. But when you look at the other peers, the likes of M&M and other peers from the auto sector, not exactly the peers, but likes of Escorts, etc. I think these stocks are making a very strong comeback from their deep corrective phases. And Tata Motors is lagging behind by a good margin. So both in terms of the opportunity where the stock could have moved up higher, as well as in terms of timing. That means that maybe there could be a residual correction which could happen to the stock over the very near term. So you can look at buying into 2 phases or maybe at max 3 phases. You can start buying the first phase at current levels, and in case if the stock dips further, breaks below the 200-day moving average, say comes closer to 920, 925 mark, look to add the other 2 chunks.
All right, very good morning to you, Kunal. Good morning to you as well, Gaurang. And let me take this next query. Gaurang, this one is for you. Coming from Hemant, he's writing to us from Hyderabad. There are 2 stocks that he wants to know about. One is Marksans Pharma. He's holding on to the stock sub 100 rupees per share level. Wants to know whether he should look to book profits now or continue to hold on to Marksans Pharma for the longer term. And the other one is on PB Fintech, holding from 800 rupees per share levels. The long-term story intact is what he's asking. Actually, he's making good profits in both of these counters. In fact, surprisingly, he's making good profits in PB Fintech as well.
Well, thank you, Cheryl. Morning to you and to everyone on the panel. So the sense over here on PB Fintech, first of all, well, it's been a tough ride, and we've seen the stock recover from the lows very recently. And over the last 3 to 6 months, it has shown tremendous amount of strength. So from a long-term point of view, we have a hold on PB Fintech. I think it's one of those companies which have done well in the online business as far as insurance is concerned, and it has almost all the products under its gamut. Oh, and of course, the run rate in terms of earnings is likely to go through this kind of footfalls that we are witnessing. So, from a long-term point of view, continue to hold on PB Fintech. The second one that you spoke about, the pharma stock, we don't have a specific coverage on Marks and Pharma, but we are extremely positive about the sector, and we believe that there is tremendous amount of growth opportunities over here. But if you're looking at some mid-cap pharma names, then I think names like Aurobindo Pharma or a Natco Pharma or a Zydus Wellness or a Zydus Life would be a better option. On Marksans, we don't have a coverage, but it is also one of the companies which have been performing.
Moving on to the next counter, the other query is on BSE and Kunal. Kusuma from Pune wants to know, can she go ahead and buy stocks like BSE, even Trent or Oil India? Amongst these 3, any stock that you like at this price point for the next 1 month?
See, I think it's a bit of a steep task over here, because stocks like Trent and BSE, these stocks have run exceptionally high in the last few weeks, and now buying the stock at current levels, irrespective that the momentum is very strong, could be a bit tricky, because if there is a price correction into the stock, it may not be a meager correction into the stock. It could probably result into at least a 20% correction in a very short span of time. So the risk reward is off. And when the risk reward is off, the only set off which you can do is to try and drop your position size over here, so that in case if the stock gets into a correction, then you may probably get better opportunity on the downside to try and buy it further. So my sense is that if you're looking to buy both of these names, BSE as well as Trent, I think you should not use your ideal position sizing, but drop it down to maybe 1/3 of your expected quantity which you're looking to buy on a normal case.
All right, this next one is coming in from our viewer, doesn't have the name. 50 shares of M&M purchased at the levels of 1,456 rupees per share. Long-term investor wants to know whether to hold on to this one or look to book profits. Gaurang, Talk about M&M, one of the most formidable players when you talk about the four-wheeler market in India at least. What's your take? Does it make sense to actually book out profits or stay put with this particular holding, because the levels that he has actually accumulated the stock is pretty attractive?
Two thoughts over here. One is whether you are in need of money. The question is that. Well, if you are in need of money, then you should not, basically have a second thought. But if you are not in need of money and if you have time by your side, then I think this is a great stock in terms of four-wheeler, commercial vehicle as well as tractor and agri equipments. They have also done well in terms of EVs. They have signed a joint venture sometime back, and possibly by the end of year or early next year, you will see new products hitting the market. And they're doing quite well in terms of the products that they have to offer in different segments. So if you're not in that, stay invested, and more importantly, you bought it at a level which is very, very comfortable. And when you get invested in such strong stocks at a very decent level, then I should think my advice would be that ride the upside unless and until you are in need of money.
All right, that's the take coming in on M&M. But Gaurang, once again coming to you, this query is coming in from Arunachalam Balaji from Tamil Nadu. He has 400 shares of SCI. His buy price is 381 rupees, very close to the recent high of this particular stock. Gaurang, he is indeed at a loss in this one. What to do? What's your advice coming in on SCI?
Srishti, unfortunately, I won't be able to give specific comments over here since we don't have a coverage, but it's very prudent that in a market like this, when, most of the sectorial and, broader markets index are firing away, you need to recalculate or re-strategize your investment themes. And just in case if you think your investment is not gone in the right way, or you possibly have ended up taking a wrong decision in terms of stock picking, then you should take appropriate steps immediately, because remedial action is also very, very important when you invest into stock market. So no specific on SCI since we don't have a coverage, but if I have to give an alternative investment idea, then I would say Ashok Leyland, which is a pure commercial vehicle play in the auto pack. We were discussing auto just a while back. And maybe power generation, something like a Tata Power. These two could turn out to be better investment ideas.
Right, but Kunal, specifically on SCI, if you can guide Mr. Balaji on this.
So I think it's an attractive chart. The stock seems to have completed a phase of correction in the last, I think, 3 months or so. The stock had corrected from 380 to, I think, a low of almost 230, 240, which means a decent correction of 140 rupees for the stock. Almost 35% correction the stock has already gone through. So I think at current levels it looks attractive. Time factor could be an important play over here, because when such sharp corrections happen, the stock for the next 1 or 2 months remains into a consolidative range, but then the stock picks up pace and then gathers momentum to try and come back into a very strong uptrend. So I think if you're okay holding on to the stock for the next 3 months or so, it's a good price where you can look to start buying.